Welcome back. I'm happy to again be here, and today I'm going to handle a different topic. We left off at a point where obtaining your study permit from the immigration office at customs at your point of entry into Canada was the topic that we're going to catch up with. I welcome you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching from wherever you are. I am glad to share my knowledge, my information, my experience, and my story with you. So, it all began with preparation for travel to Canada. With December, most of us started hearing about the presence of Omicron virus that had mutated from the one that we're used to, the Delta variant that we're dealing with at the moment. While we had planned that I travel in January on the 1st or 2nd, we had to make a decision for me to travel earlier in December, that is 13th December, to Canada, because most of the countries in Africa were being put on a red list where entry into countries like Canada would become a challenge. And I didn't want to risk any of that. After waiting for a long time, you don't want to be told now you cannot have a direct flight from your country to this one because of ABCD. So we took that cautious decision for me to travel very early. And yeah, I traveled. So on the 14th, I was in Canada. The prerequisites for travel were all fulfilled. At the moment, we needed to have a PCR test 72 hours before landing in Canada. That was a must-have. That was supposed to be a negative PCR test. And the school had advised that we come with a written quarantine plan that would show to immigration, because sometimes they ask about it. Quarantine plan just would show in the event that you're picked on and tested after the flight, after the 72 hours, or if you arrived before. Like, they have an arrangement where at customs they can choose anyone to be tested. While it's not a prerequisite that we are tested on landing, but we were warned that in some cases it's done. So when you're chosen and tested and you test positive, it was important for you to have a quarantine plan. So for everyone, we were advised to write up a quarantine plan that shows where you would quarantine for 14 days if you're required to. So that plus the negative PCR test, then there was a requirement to have filled an arrive can. Everyone coming to Canada does that. You fill in your arrive can before you get into Canada, and this is checked at the point to which you're getting onto a flight to Canada. So from Africa, I got from Uganda, then through Amsterdam. So through Amsterdam is where, during the security check, I was asked to present my arrive can. And here it's a bit tricky. Filling in arrive can using the app and using the web, these are two different, they arrive at the same. However, there's some minor differences. So depending on which path you use, you're supposed to have a receipt that is generated at the end of filling in your arrive can, which has a QR code. This QR code is scanned by the security people who are checking you in at the airport where you're going to get on board to a plane that is taking you to Canada. So depending on how you filled it in, that is supposed to be what you have. That QR code, once scanned, has to show your name, where you're coming from, and all information about you. It has scanned that you're fully vaccinated, all that information, your passport, it has to show. So before you get onto a plane to Canada, they will have to ensure your arrive can is well filled in. Well, so like any other airport, there are security checks that are done. Some are very, I don't know, they're very serious with how they check you. They will bring in maybe the security dogs. Like at Amsterdam, there was this dog sniffing, and to my surprise, this dog was on my bag. It just refused to leave my bag. And I was told by the security officer to declare if I have money that I'm carrying in the bag. Yeah, it was true. So the law permits one to carry money as long as it's no more than 10,000 USD or euros, whichever currency you're carrying. It must not exceed 10,000. So I had some money on me, cash, and this dog, as told, it sniffs money. So I explained to the security lady, who was very okay and not very like, she didn't scare me, though I got scared naturally. You know how you're at an airport and that circus is happening, everyone looks at you and they're like, whoa, what is she carrying, what is happening? Could be the sample would be quick to think you're smuggling in something or what. So I was very quick to declare. So when she asked me, I told her I'm carrying this money. So I showed her the money and she's like, how much is it? I told her and she's like, oh, well, it's okay. She just told me like to calm me down, my dog loves money and what, which really shocked me. I had never really gone through such a security check where the dog is even looking to sniff money, because I think everyone almost has a note or two or a coin. Yeah. So that was a shock there, but it's, I think the way the security person handled it just kept me calm and confident, that because I knew I wasn't breaking any law and I didn't panic, it was handled. So such scenarios can happen to you. What am I pointing at? As you plan your travel to Canada, get acquainted with all the laws, like some of them that are to do with your travel. What is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what can you carry on you, what shouldn't you carry, what should you declare. All these are very important. This happened at Amsterdam. I wasn't even yet in Canada, but I knew as part of security the laws are kind of the same. So getting onto the flight to Canada, all was smooth, the same way I had come from Uganda. And yeah, we had another 9 hours until we arrived at the Calgary airport. So I entered into Canada through Calgary. They have one of the big airports that are very well equipped. So on arrival, we had to use some of those booths. They are booths that you use where you feed in information following the instructions that are given and the questions that are asked. There's some people that can help you fill in that information, but it is more of making a declaration. Who are you? What are you coming for? So as an international student, the reason for being in Canada that you should declare at all points is you're there to study. They will ask about what you're carrying in terms of your luggage, which types of products are you carrying, are they agricultural, do they have do you have any dairy related products? Do you have any grains on you? Things like that. Are you carrying money? And if you're carrying, is it more than 10,000? The questions that you're prompted to answer. So according to the answers that you get, there will be a receipt that is printed for you that you'll have to give an officer as you walk through, that will either lead you to go to customs or to go to elsewhere. So given that I had to obtain a study permit, I had to take that receipt as I was showed to go to an immigration officer. So the immigration officer, when I got there, I was asked for my letter of acceptance or admission letter from the university and my passport. Those two documents are crucial. These ones are not supposed to be in your luggage that is kept away from you. They're supposed to be in your onboard luggage. You're supposed to have a clear bag where you're keeping these files, these documents handy. Any document that you use to apply for the study permit or the support documents, you have to have copies of these, because when you get to customs for you to process that study permit, you will be asked for some of these documents according to the types of questions that the immigration officer will ask you. So you should have these handy. So in my case, I was asked for my passport and then the letter of acceptance from my school, which I submitted, and I was told to wait until my name was called by another immigration officer, who then asked me to show them the receipt that shows the deposit that I made to school for my first semester tuition or first year tuition. So surprisingly, I didn't have that receipt on me from school, but I could access my account in school because my university, when we paid tuition, we all were given accounts, so you can access your account and all the statements on how you've made deposits in your account are there. Alternatively, I gave the immigration officer my letter of acceptance because it had a paragraph that talks about the acknowledgement of receipt of a deposit of so much money that was made towards my education. That was the question that I was asked. That one question is what the immigration officer asked me, and I had to give her proof that I have this. So I don't know in your case what you will be asked, but when she asked me and I told her and explained to her what I had and tried to showed her my account, that was convincing enough to her. She just asked me for my passport, and there I was. She processed my study permit. I was very happy. But then I remembered, you don't have to get excited, because trust me, as you approach customs, you panic a little about, even if you got approval for your study permit, but still this officer, the immigration officer that you find, has the right to ask you questions that she deems fit. And these questions should help her make a decision whether to give you that permit or not, or to hold it. So I received my permit, and there are key things that I had to look at. That is my name, the way it's spelled, the institution that I'm going to. Then I had to also look at a condition, because with a study permit, it comes with a condition for you to work at least 20 hours in a week. You study for 20 hours, but you may accept work or may not. So if your study permit doesn't have that condition on it, that you may accept work for 20 hours every week for the period you're studying, you cannot work. Even if you know it that with the study permit you're allowed to work, but if your study permit doesn't have that condition printed on, you're not allowed to obtain work. That is something that is very key that we have to all look out for and be very vigilant on how our names are spelled and put down on the study permit. That is the document that defines who you are in Canada, your status, because it is a temporary residence that you're getting here. So you must be able to define yourself. Are you a student? Are you a visitor? What are you? So this permit must speak of who you are, because you need it to process other important documents, as I will explain to you in my subsequent videos. Thank you for being with me here. Any questions on how to obtain your study permit at customs, how you get to customs, how you carry yourself while there, I will be glad to answer. But from my experience, that is what happened, and I'm very happy to share it with you. So until we meet again, may God keep you and bless you. Ciao.